currently the focuses in my life are like myself and my health and optimizing my fertility through my lifestyle changes, just becoming more in tune with my body and improving my cycles. Like they are about 39 days right now, and that could definitely be better. And also, like my lifestyle could be improved.
Welcome back to the Holistic Hormones Podcast with me, Dr. Ami Patel, pharmacist and hormone consultant. I've transformed my pain, struggle, and journey with managing my PCOS into my passion to support women to gain freedom from their hormone imbalance symptoms. On this podcast, I share practical tips that have worked for me and my clients, as well as conversations from experts in their field.
I'm really grateful for you being here today and being a dedicated listener and viewer of my podcast and YouTube channel. So thank you for that. As the title suggests, I wanted to give an update on my egg freezing decision. And the last time I did this episode was in August 2023, so exactly a year ago. And this was not planned, actually. But this recently came up and I went through the thought process of thinking about it again. And I just wanted to share it with you to see if you will also find that helpful if you are thinking about this for yourself. And what's different is that in 2023, like the things I was going through in my life, the mindset and thought process was different than how things are now. So now I am dating, and while I've been dating, I realized that there was times when I put pressure on myself to like make it work out or make things happen and move things forward, which after the fact, I realized that that's obviously not the best way to approach dating. And this is not a dating podcast, so we're not going to talk about that, but I was subconsciously putting this pressure on myself. And then it was because I was thinking about like my fertility. I turned 35 in February, and I was just thinking about like, okay, I do want to like move on to these next stages of my life, and I do want to become a mother. But then consciously I realized that, me putting this pressure on myself and onto these relationships is obviously not helping the situation. And then as I was like discussing this with my friends and family, they said to me like, oh, like, have you thought about freezing your eggs? They said, you can become a mom one day without a partner if you want to. And then I was just like, okay, let me think about this. Like, is this the next thing I want to do in my life right now? But the thing is, like, the way it's said at times, like, oh, like, just freeze your eggs or consider freezing your eggs. It seems like it implies that, okay, if you do that, like, it's guaranteed that you'll become a mother one day. And I will address that as well in this episode. But yeah, that was like the other thing as well. So I was reflecting back, and I remembered that, if becoming a mother was the only thing that was important to me and the thing I really, really wanted, I could have had that 2.5 years ago when I was married, when I did have a house, and the next thing and step and stage in life that we were going to go into was having a baby. But I realized that, no, that is not the only thing I want in life. And if it was, I could have had it. And so that made me realize that I still, in the last 2 years, have a very fulfilling life despite not being a mother. And like, I do want to have that, but I want to have it with the right person and the right partner for me. And yeah, so just reflecting on the last 2 years of my life, like I find fulfillment in other things as well. Like, for example, being a masi or a foy, which means aunt to my nieces and nephews, traveling, exploring and enjoying new cultures, nature, moving my body through pickleball, working out, engaging in spiritual practices, supporting and empowering women with their PCOS and their fertility and seeing them succeed is really, really fulfilling to me. And the thing that has been different is that in the last couple of years, I have learned to be more present through all of these things which has been a key difference in me really enjoying it and it being fulfilling, as well as me living life on my terms and defining how I want to spend my time and energy and living life for myself. So that has really made me realize that, I do have a fulfilling life now, and I can continue to have a fulfilling life. And yes, motherhood is important to me, and I do want that one day, but it's not something that I need to make happen right now. And so also, I looked a little bit into the egg freezing process as well, just for me to better understand it. And, as I was saying, a lot of people implied that, oh, if you just freeze your eggs, like you will become a mother. But it doesn't work like that. And yes, it does give you the opportunity and increases your chances at an older age, which you may not have naturally. But
thank you for being a dedicated listener and viewer. I would love your help in having this podcast reach more listeners so more women can become empowered about their hormone health, PCOS, and fertility. One way you can do that is by leaving a review. As a way to say thank you, I'd love to give you a free 45-minute one-to-one consultation. Inside the consultation, we can go over your medication, supplements, address any pressing questions you have, help you break out of your stagnation, or just get back on track. All you have to do is on Spotify, make sure you're following the show, then click the 3 dots on the right side and click rate the show and give it 5 stars. On Apple, make sure you're following, then scroll down to ratings and reviews and click write a review. Then just take a screenshot and email me at hello@dramiPharmacist.com. That's hello@DRAMIPHARMACIST.com. Thank you, and now back to the show.
As you age, yes, the quality and the quantity of your eggs does decrease. And so by freezing your eggs at a younger age, you have a younger egg that could be used later. But when you are ready to conceive, and if you decide to freeze your eggs, then the process would be that you would go through IVF with your egg that is unfrozen. And then IVF is in vitro fertilization, where the egg would be thawed and fertilized with your partner's sperm or a donor sperm, and then implanted into your uterus, and then you would carry the baby to term, or you could get a surrogate. But I realized that yes, you can still do that, but it's also important to maintain your health throughout that process too. And it's still important to optimize your health right now so that the quality of the egg that you do decide to freeze would be optimized, and so that when you do decide to move forward, if you do this, then when you carry the baby, when you're pregnant, you are also healthy at that time. The other thing I learned is that women with PCOS are at an increased risk of OHSS, which is ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, which doctors can possibly manage with lower doses of the drugs used to stimulate the ovary and release the egg during the process. But that is still something to consider and keep in mind for those that may be considering this option. So yeah, with all of the things I said, I decided that I'm not going to freeze my eggs right now, but I will reevaluate this in about 6 months to a year after I turn 35, because a lot can happen in 6 months. And yeah, I feel for those reasons, plus I feel like I'm not, it's a big commitment to freeze your eggs. It's not just like you decide and then, you just it's not like you decide you want to get ice cream and then you just go out and buy ice cream. But it's a commitment, and it's a big financial commitment, time commitment. It's a process on your physical health and mental health. And I'm just not where I am in life right now where I want to do that. Currently, the focuses in my life are myself and my health and optimizing my fertility through my lifestyle changes, just becoming more in tune with my body and improving my cycles. Like they are about 39 days right now, and that could definitely be better. And also, like my lifestyle could be improved because I realize as I'm training for the Sparta DECA stick competition, I realized that like my nutrition could be better and my exercise could be better. And as I'm going through the competition, or like training for it, I realized that like my body can do more, and I had just become stagnant in my workouts. So there's definitely room for improvement. My sleep could be much better, and there will be more on that later about the sleep situation. But yeah, that stress could be managed better. And so that's still something I want to work on for the next 6 months. And so if I do decide that, hey, 6 months later, I want to freeze my eggs, then the quality of my eggs will be better too. Yeah, so that is where I am with that. And for those reasons, I'm gonna not freeze my eggs right now, and I will readdress this topic again. But I hope that this helps you think about it for yourself. The other things that if you do decide that you want to look into this more or start the process yourself, some things to ask is like, okay, do you really, really want this? Or is it like society's expectations for you to become a mother? Or do you want to become a mother yourself? Because there was a time when I was like, maybe I don't want to become a mother. It's just I thought I did. But so I went through that and I said I didn't want to become a mother, but then I realized now that I do. And then if you do decide and think about that, the next thing you can also do is test your AMH, which is the anti-Müllerian hormone. And that basically tells you approximately how many eggs are in your body for your age. And that can help you determine whether you need to freeze your eggs sooner or you have more time. You can also check your insurance coverage. Some insurances may cover the cost. If they don't, then it can cost anywhere from $12,000 to $20,000 for one process of getting the eggs. And then there's a fee of $1,000 per year approximately to store the eggs as well. And then also just setting up your support system as you go through this. It can take a toll on you physically, emotionally, mentally. So just having a support system ready while you go through this would be really helpful. Yeah, to wrap up, personally, I want to just focus on improving my own health and PCOS still, like maximize and optimize my fertility, and just focus on the things that are bringing fulfillment in my life, and just continue to the positive things, and focusing on that, because like ultimately I do believe that whatever's meant to be will work out. And I want to, if I do decide to freeze my eggs, then I want to go into it being 110% committed and feeling optimistic about it. So yeah, for now, this is my decision. I would love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments things you think about or have questions about in terms of the egg freezing process, or things you've thought about or considered in your decision. And if you're listening on podcast or Apple, just send me a DM and I'd love to chat with you. As always, be kind to yourself, be patient, and focus on progress, not perfection. I'll see you in the next episode.